Sal.
Hmm.
Okay, what does that mean now, Sarah?
That means I'm recording this call, and so I'm starting now, and others will join us. But I'm gonna put all this on a YouTube video when we're done.
Okay.
You're gonna put this on YouTube? Why? Oh, for genealogy, right?
Not live, not YouTube live. Just I'll make a YouTube video of it after the call.
I said why, not YouTube live.
Oh,
is this for like genealogy or?
Yeah, it's a family history thing. I've put all of our Zoom calls on YouTube.
You're famous.
Oh, well, I haven't been to any of them.
Hey, you need to tell me your channel, Arden. What's YouTube channel is it?
It's I'll send you a link. I don't know. I think it's just the BM12kids at gmail.com.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
And
send on the link in your chat, and then I'll find it.
Well, I also have made a Google Doc that has links to all the videos.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'll text you my address in the chat.
I was gonna say, let me make sure I've got your email. Hello, Kamillia.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Maria.
Great.
Hello.
Okay, so.
Hi, Kamillia.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
So, Sarah, text me. Sarah, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna just say hi on a text to you, and then I want you to text me back your email address, and I'll email you the link to the Google Doc.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. And here comes Annette.
I'm waiting for it to come through, Artie.
What's that?
Yep.
Oh, Avon calling.
Hello, Annette. Oh, she's connecting to audio. So we've got Annette and Kamillia and Marcielle. Now, who all is with you, Marcielle? I saw. So is that Becky that I saw?
Well, we just got a noisy bunch in here.
See?
Becky is.
Are you watching a ball game?
Oh.
Hi. The Utah Rose Bowl? No, but that's not my picture.
Okay, so Annette, we just see your little laptop logo thing again for
So
whatever
Artie,
reason.
you can't.
Hold up there.
Why don't I have a video on here? There's not a picture of me. It's just a.
And Marcielle, I am going to mute you so we don't hear your restaurant background noise, but wave at me when you want to say something.
I'm going to go outside because it's too noisy in here, but it's cold outside, so I might not stay with you a long time.
Okay. Hello, Chad.
This is what happened last time.
Hi, everyone.
Ooh, it's cold out here. Ooh.
Marcielle, just go in and let him mute you until you want to speak. But you'll be able to. You'll be able to hear everyone else.
Well, why don't so? One of the objectives of this thing, at least my objective, and none of this is set in stone, but I want people to share their Christmas memories, because a lot of people a few weeks back were sharing stuff about Christmas growing up. So, Marcielle, why don't we start with you, and then you can stay someplace warm. So tell us some of your Christmas memories, Marcielle.
She's gonna freak out.
Growing up.
Why do you have it? Mess with her. See? Oh, I don't think that's nice.
Did you hear the question, Marcielle?
What?
I said, let's start with you. Share some Christmas memories from your growing up years or something like that.
You could, Kamillia is an older mine too. Christmas. Okay, I'm not dying. I'm walking across the parking lot. Oh, there's Chad.
Hi, Marcielle. I'm having a hard time hearing everybody. I've got my volume all the way up.
Can you hear me?
It's about the same. I don't know why my volume is just so low.
I can hear everybody. Marcielle's a little in and out because she's walking around, but
we can hear you. Well, how come I can't see it on here?
How come I can't see you, Annette? I saw you just a few minutes ago.
I know. I don't know why I know I've had video on my phone, on my computer before. There seems to be, for some reason, I'm not.
So maybe you should be on your phone.
Well, I'm going to my phone, but I can't find our group on my phone right now. I can see the 15 people one, but I know it's not the 15 people one.
you want me to send you an individual text of the link?
Sure, that'd be fine. Thanks.
I can do that.
Then I can see you on the big one. And
Don't you do it often? I thought you did.
I don't do it.
They do it.
But they have been, they have.
Okay, so Marcielle, do you have any Christmas memories to share, or should we let Kamillia start?
Oh my gosh, have we got a Christmas memory for you?
Well, you know, I won't stay long because my family are all
We don't mind.
Mom went berserk on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we have a fun one, but of course it's not your Christmas memory, it's ours. I think he wants it.
okay. Hi, Kamillia.
Hi, Marcielle. Well, one thing we do remember that bell reminds me it's Avon calling. Anyway,
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
our Christmases were always pretty sparse, and you remember that, I'm sure.
And Mother would always say, "There's going to be anything for Christmas." I guess so we wouldn't wish. What is that?
I think it's me.
Oh.
No, that was Chad. Chad exited and re-entered, and then the thing went bling bling again. That's okay.
Oh, because I've got a funny thing on here that says that I'm not seeing on my phone.
And somebody joined that says iPhone, but I don't hear a voice or see a picture. Who's on iPhone and we don't hear or
That
see?
is me.
Oh, that's
Well, I've got an iPhone. I'm on iPhone.
No, I guess that's Annette. We still don't see you though, Annette. And the iPhone left.
I just left, and I'm going to try again.
Okay, so what we've got so far is Mom said there would never be anything for Christmas.
But there always was some little thing. I'm sure there was never
How about the pens, Mom?
a Christmas
How
with
about the pens?
the pens.
Your dad giving you back.
I was just about to get to that. A Christmas in Spokane, probably definitely the last Christmas that when I was still at home. There wasn't any money, and they gave us whatever.
Others, please join audio. Wi-Fi or cellular data.
Recording in progress.
Keep going, Marcielle.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marcielle. I have.
Okay, so I remember that year. It's kind of a sad memory, though. Dad gave me his Parker pen. Do they even have Parker pens anymore?
Quite expensive.
That was an expensive pen, and he gave that to me. He also gave me a set of the silverware that he used when he sold a customer a freezer and food plant, and that was
I just wanted to do it on the other one.
that was something. Aren't you? Oh gosh!
Don't worry about it.
Runs 3 passes on that drive.
I'm listening, Marcielle. You just go right ahead and keep talking.
I'm all ears here.
And so am I, because Marcielle, I remember this Christmas because Carmen and I were first married, and we were there.
Usually I'm really late on it.
So go ahead. What was it like for you?
They're really. and they gave us things of their own that they wrapped up. And I wish I still had that Parker pen, for goodness sakes, and that set of silverware that's long gone. So I'm thinking about them as our parents. How hard was that for them to be that broke that they had Christmas that way? So somebody else talk now.
Marcielle, remember the one in Toppenish where
The
we
one in Barney, where Kamillia and mother got Avon. Avon did call. Didn't ring the bell, she called. And mother gave Kamillia and I the thing. And it was
The what?
a little set of lotion and powder. And the color was sort of it was a blue color.
Yes.
And we can still remember the smell. That is, and like you, Kamillia, if I ran onto that stuff again, I would sure buy it for $100 or more. And keep it. And that was Toppenish.
How about Weezer? Do you guys have any Weezer Christmas memories or not?
Very young. You were very young,
Right.
Weezer. And now we're getting on the freeway. So hang on, guys.
Hey,
I put on my seatbelt.
hey, Marcelle, is there snow on the road on the freeway?
Where are you going, Marcielle?
Well, hi, Annette. How are you guys doing?
Hello, Nancy.
Oh,
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Hello, Jay.
Hi.
Oh, we have Jaye too and Nancy.
I
Wow,
just got on.
we're just almost all here. Not quite.
Oh,
Not quite.
probably half of us.
Yes.
So you, Marcielle, you and Kamillia have all those memories in Washington State, and I have no memories at all of Christmas in Washington State. I have very few memories of anything at all in Washington State. And I have a few memories of South Carolina, but most of my memories are Greensboro and Silver Spring. And I want somebody to tell me who I shot with my BB gun.
Well, I say it was.
I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was me.
I was gonna say,
it was
on
Nancy.
Rankin Road, and you shot me in the hand.
I shot you, Annette?
Yep.
I thought I shot Nancy.
Jay, I really think you're stealing a memory of mine because I shot Arden in the hand.
no, you shot me in the hand.
Oh, maybe it was him. I was having him hold records, and then I would take steps back, and I would shoot the record because we were going to throw the records away anyway. And it was kind of fun to see the records splitter and splatter. But I guess maybe it was Arden, and it was a handy kind of thing to do. But he moved his hand right before I shot to where the record was. I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah,
and that's not a Christmas memory.
That's
But see, I got a Daisy BB gun for Christmas, and I remember I had somebody holding something, and I ended up shooting them, and then and then I lost my BB gun, of course. And when
I lost my BB gun too.
And then when I got it back, I shot the neighbor in the rear end because he was such a bully, and then I lost it again.
Well, I did not shoot the neighbor in the rear end. But before my BB gun was taken from me because Artie moved his hand right as I was shooting, but before that I would get up in the barn, the hayloft in Virginia, when Larita was riding her little pony. What was the name of that pony?
Crackerjack.
Hush, puppy.
Crackerjack, and I would shoot the pony in the rear end.
Oh,
And then it would jump all over the place. And I mean, I was 11 or 12, so there's no excuse. I know, but
in Virginia, I was 16. You were not 11 or 12. You were 14 or 15.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Chad.
Thank you for that correction. In either case, that whole medulla frontal lobe thing was undeveloped still. But I would go in and I was talking to Mom, and Mom would say, there must be bees out there stinging that pony. It keeps jumping all over the place.
Becky up there.
And I did not divulge the truth.
You
Well,
did
that-
good.
boy, you
After
can
my
pay
mission,
for that.
I told Mom the truth.
You
And
did.
she started crying.
Oh. You did or she did?
No, she did. She was so disappointed in me, and
Oh, goodness.
then she got up and kicked me in the shin.
Yeah, sure. That's what you get for horsing around.
That pony, that was a mean pony.
That was a
It
mean
didn't
pony.
deserve what I was doing, but it was mean.
Did
And
you ever
Marcia
see
definitely
Cracker
deserved
Jack roll under the fence to get out of the pasture?
I don't remember that.
He did. He learned how to lay down next to the fence and roll under the bottom wire of the fence and get himself out of the pasture that way.
That's pretty good.
He was
That
a really
is.
smart pony.
That is amazing.
Okay, back to, I know Arden wants to hear Christmas memories. I'll give a Christmas memory because, there's no way to go in order because this isn't an orderly group. Here's my Christmas memory. I got to think of one quick. Actually, one of my very first Christmas memories. This is true. I think it was Sourwood Lane.
It's true.
Yeah, but this is true, Annette. I think it was Sourwood Lane. And did we not have a fireplace and a mantle in the living room?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a fire in the fireplace.
Fire.
Well, maybe there wasn't a fire in the fireplace, but you remember what Mom or somebody would put on the mantle at Christmas time?
What?
Yes. Angel hair with lights under it, but maybe not then because those lights were hot. And a nativity. That sounds more like Virginia.
That's what I remember was the nativity in the angel hair.
The solid white nativity?
No,
We didn't
No.
have it by then. We didn't have that one.
No, it wasn't white.
See,
They-
they're all, talking about when they were growing up. And
Eventually she did have a beautiful solid white nativity made out of, I don't know, porcelain or I don't know what it was, but it was.
okay, I can't. It's my memory, so I won't make any claim of accuracy, but a memory is a memory. I don't actually remember whether there was a nativity scene. I do think I remember there was a tree, there was a fireplace, there was a mantle, there was angel hair. And I was sitting on the stairs, kind of looking down on the living room a little bit.
Nope, you couldn't have. You would have had
couldn't
to
have
come
done that
down
on
the stairs
Sourwood.
and looked around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure I was on the stairs somehow looking out into the room.
Nope.
Even one stair?
Not on Sourwood.
No, he
Why
said
not?
Hey, you guys. Hey, let me
Plug your pipe.
interject here. It's important that it's his memory.
I've heard of that.
Okay, but this is important to me. I mean, I'm trying to deal with memories a little bit, but tell me, why couldn't I see the living room from the stairs?
It was
This is
around the
Sourwood.
corner.
What'd you say, Jay?
It was around the corner.
It was a solid wall going
Yeah.
up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you came down, you came right down into the living room.
No,
Right.
you came down.
Well, not exactly.
Yes.
You came down. Okay, Sourwood. Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, maybe I was just standing at the one end of the room, but I have a memory of being on the stairs, kind of looking down into the living room. At the same time,
I wasn't there. Yeah.
at the same time, my older brothers and sisters, that would have been Nancy and Jaye and Annette and Afton, and maybe Bruce was still hanging around.
No.
Not
Gone.
that long.
Okay.
Bruce was there. Bruce was there for a while. He was driving the school bus for the school system, and he used to park it in the driveway. So he was around.
Okay, maybe he was there, but you guys were all in another room. I think it was the kitchen pulling taffy. Do you remember pulling taffy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in there pulling taffy and singing Christmas songs. And you know Jaye's beautiful voice, and maybe Bruce was there, and Nancy and Annette and Mom, and so I'm sitting there, and Arden, this is my first Christmas memory, and it came with a feeling of just lovely feeling of I don't know what Christmas is: love, peace. The Spirit of Christ. It was also my first memory of having a kind of spiritual sense of something.
Cool.
That's interesting, Chad. That's very interesting.
It's my memory. I've always held on to it, and it's part of the reason I've always loved Christmas season so much.
That's
So you
really quite,
would have been
that's-
about 5 years old, Chad.
40 years ago.
Maybe
Larita's coming on
5.
now.
Hi, Larita.
But I better get back off. I got on with I just made myself, because I do it with my business. I need to log in and take I'll be back. Bye. Otherwise, you're all being recorded on Insulin IQ, which isn't what you do.
You need to
Do come back.
What was her problem?
Huh? I'll be back. I'll be back. Bye.
On the run.
Okay, Happy New Year.
She's on the wrong Zoom account or something. Well, that is. So I'll just jump in here. That reminds me of my earliest Christmas memory, just a little bit, although there's not a lot of detail to it. I was very young. I have in my head it was Silver Spring, but I don't know for sure where I was at because I was very young, like I'm guessing 3 or 4. And all I remember is we were walking out of the house. I was one of the last ones out of the house. The mom and dad were turning off the lights. It was Christmas time. Christmas music was playing on a stereo or a record or something. Christmas music was playing in the background. And for some reason, I was the last one out of the house with mom and dad. And mom had one hand and dad had the other hand. And I was walking out of the house with mom and dad holding my hands as we went out the steps, and the Christmas music was playing. It was dark outside. It was cold. And this feeling of love, just a very loving, peaceful kind of a feeling, feeling safe, walking between mom and dad, leaving the house. And that's it. That was my first Christmas memory.
That would have been Spencerville.
And wasn't Larita born? She was born.
I don't know. There was
Larita
nobody
was
else was
born.
in the memory except for me and mom and dad.
I'm sorry. Wait. Larita was not born. She was made. And I used to pull her belly button out every night and grease all the parts and the pieces.
And get the gum I promised her would cause problems if she swallowed it in her tummy, and I did the
my
thing with her
gosh,
belly
you
button
guys.
too.
We're talking about
Larita, I'm just kidding. You weren't really made. You really were born.
you told me I was made at Sears and I was a factory reject.
I did say all those things. I did. It's
You
true.
did. Guys, I gotta get back off. I'm still on my work Zoom account. I can't figure out why I can't get off my work Zoom account. You're being recorded and you don't really need to be recorded on my Zoom account. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out why and I'll be back.
Okay,
Good luck.
bye.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I would like to interject here.
Okay, go ahead.
When Daddy was in the service, we lived at Grandma Compton's house, and I believe it was there. I don't actually remember a Christmas tree or anything like that.
Bottom drawer.
Excuse me?
I don't remember a Christmas tree there either. But I don't
Well,
remember Christmas trees our whole life.
I would like to finish the story. Um,
Okay.
Good luck.
I know. I used to stutter, the reason being I couldn't get a word in edgewise. But anyway, I just remember the music on the radio, and it was in Grandma's living room, and she had a beautiful lamp that had kind of jewels draping down from it. I'm sure they weren't glass beads or something, very Victorian. And the radio was in that room. And I just remember hearing this song, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. And it has stuck with me. Whenever I hear that song, that's what comes to my mind, is that picture. So it's not exactly Christmas, but obviously Christmas was soon. And Daddy was gone. He was gone to Okinawa. And
Mandy,
so
you got your She's trying to talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and Kamillia, I'm sorry. We're letting some of our passengers out now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, Mandy.
Love you, Mandy.
bye, Mandy.
I'm Andy.
Anyway, so and I'll just add one more while I have the floor, so to speak. I do always remember popcorn. It was usually stale because it sat around the house for a few days. Daddy always popped popcorn on the stove, the kind that you shake in the pan. And we had a little Christmas candy, like peppermint candy, ribbon, that sort of ribbon candy. I don't remember an actual tree, but I remember the smell of pine and loving that and connecting it with Christmas. And I don't remember a white Christmas ever, but I do have the memory, and I think I wrote it. One Christmas, Nita stayed with us, and she slept on the couch. And on Christmas morning, after gifts were open, which weren't very many, of course, we went across the street to the empty lot and played baseball. So there was obviously no snow. It was quite warm.
Thank you for giving her some time.
I think that's bye, Mary Beth.
Where was that, Kamillia?
That was in Toppenish. And in Yakima, I remember a tree. And I remember Mother trying to get us to drape the icicles, And I think of poor Mother when you tell your stories and how much she loved Christmas and how much she tried to make it beautiful. And of course, it was always a financial strain when we were around. And Daddy would often get a loan, a second on his car or something, so that they could go Christmas shopping. It seems to me on Christmas Eve. And so even though Mother said there wouldn't be anything for Christmas, we would always get something. And in Yakima, I got a white blouse. And in Toppenish, I remember the beautiful Avon lotion and powder. I don't remember anything else, but family was always, Christmas was family. And I don't remember anything truly special, remarkable, or anything. We didn't have Christmas lights for the longest time. I don't know when we first had them, but by the way, I have some of Mother and Daddy's Christmas lights. They're very different from what we have today. And I recognize them. I mean, when I inherited them from Daddy through Vera, I think it's interesting that he still had them, and they really are different. So when you
I don't
come
think
next,
I would use those.
I don't think I don't.
They could be quite dangerous.
I don't think there's any way to find a connection that would make it happen anyway.
Nope.
So I know Mother loved Christmas, but I know it was a heartache.
She liked the icicles on the tree to be
Yeah,
straight
she
to-
was really picky about that. You had to hang those icicles just right, or she would say, you got to go back and do it again. If you put them on too thickly, it would really bother her. And she didn't like that. She didn't like,
I think
she wanted to be able to see the green tree.
She
I
wanted
think
to be able
lots
to
of
do-
times she put her hands in her head in her hands, and moaned. And maybe even shed a tear or two. I never remember being told to go back and redo it, but I know.
No,
how
I
But
it
don't.
was.
she would go back and redo it. I saw her do that.
I did
And
it.
I tended to just throw them on the tree. And I mean, I really do remember her trying to encourage me to put them on individually, delicately. And
Yes.
but I think this is a good chance for me to air one other thing. I do love Christmas because of family, but I have clear memories of breaking ornaments.
Dear.
Because I was young and careless, and I broke ornaments, and the scorn of my younger brothers and sisters was substantive and traumatizing. And even to this day, I prefer to lay on the couch and watch others put on ornaments because I get all stressed out. It's like, oh, I'm gonna break it. Of course, I did break one this season.
You're
And no,
still
I'm-
breaking ornaments at your
That's
age?
PTSD.
Well,
I didn't mean to do it, Marcielle. It was, sometimes when you're just too careful, like if you're so careful when you drive, you become dangerous. That's the same thing here. I'm too careful with the ornaments, and that makes me break them.
Yeah, I think you're exaggerating grossly, but that's fine.
I want to
Jaye.
mention-
Thank you.
I'd like to mention a Christmas ornament memory that I have. When we lived in Anaconda, we lived next door to the Webb Kings, and we didn't have beautiful ornaments. They had the kind of ornaments was a candle. It looked like a
Yes?
it looked like a candy cane. Marcielle, I'm trying to tell a story here.
I'm pulling
Anyway.
several different ways here.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
Hi, Rachel. Happy New Year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Now that you're on with us, gotta be.
Who else
Yeah.
got 12 inches of snow at their house?
We got about 8.
Oh, I didn't get that much.
I
We
got a
got
half.
12. I went out and measured.
I got a half an inch.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
Are you serious?
It rained up here.
But we did
Yeah,
get snow.
we got lots of rain and slushy snow, and we got about a half an inch of snow on the grass after all that 2 days of rain.
No one would know.
This is
Okay,
Larita and I win on this one.
We have to hear Kamillia's story. We haven't heard it
188%?
yet.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you,
we have a ton of snow.
Okay, keep
Okay.
going, Kamillia. Sorry.
Yeah, come on, go.
So I must really hurry.
Rachel,
Anyway.
you mute your mom every once in a while.
What?
If Rachel mutes your button every once in a while, Kamillia can tell her story.
All right, I will mute my mom.
Just for a minute.
I didn't know Marcielle had one of those buttons.
Anyway,
Artie, you can mute people as the,
Anyway. I'm getting frustrated.
No.
Yes. Anyway, we had Christmas globes that I loved looking into. And of course, when you looked into them, you were upside down. But those globes, they just were a different world. I just wanted to be in that world. And I particularly loved the Webb Kings candle-like ornament that had little bubbles that would rise from the bottom to the top. And of course they lit up. We did not have Christmas lights, but I remember looking at those and just loving them. And in the last 20 years, I was able to find some, and I couldn't wait to put them on my tree because they were such a good memory.
Mm.
So that's all really. That was really hard to say, but.
Thank you. I do remember having is it the same thing as the little snow globes? You shake them up and then it looks like there's snow falling inside the little globe.
Yes. Yes.
I
Those
remember those.
I have some on my coffee table. I love them.
I want to know who remembers the long black sled. And this would have been in Washington. This would not have been in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Maryland. This would have been in Washington. I remember riding with my siblings on a long black sled, and I would have probably have been 5 or perhaps 6 years old. And I remember going down a hill and sliding into someone's garage and hitting a pole in the center of the garage.
Wow.
It sounds like Yakima. We did have a sled, and we did live on the top of a hill.
Was he that?
And-
In
That would have been Dishman, Jay. When
Okay.
we lived in that old farmhouse where the barn was and where Bruce raised his rabbits that we cried about when he killed them and wanted us to eat them for dinner.
So you remember that sled, Nancy?
I do. I remember going down that hill with Bruce and Terry and the neighbor kids.
Yeah.
I do. I remember that.
Okay.
Well, perhaps that sled was with us in Yakima before you moved to Dishman, because I do remember sled, and of course we had a hill also. So I remember pulling a sibling up the hill so that that sibling could go down the hill, and it might have been you, Jay. I don't know.
Could have been.
Could have been.
I remember going down the hill. I don't remember going up the hill. I guess there wasn't much of a thrill to the uphill part. But how many of you guys remember Holt's Hill in North Carolina on Sourwood Drive? There was a man named Holt, and we would sled down his driveway and down the driveway of the other person at the bottom of the hill and down toward the pond. We had a pond, and that was a fairly steep hill, and Bruce was there at that time. And I can remember going out and sledding with all my siblings and just freezing myself to death and actually crying because I would get so cold and I would have so much snow packed into my shoes, and then going home and just crying and being in miserable pain because of that. I mean, it's hard to go home when you're having so much fun, but Bruce would get angry with me because I would start crying. And then he would say, you got to go home and get warmed up. And I remember that was one of the few winters where we actually had enough snow to go sledding. And I remember sledding with my siblings in North Carolina.
My memories of sledding are at Marcielle's house with Rachel and Artie and John, Art, and all those people. Rachel and I were just talking about that the last time we were together, sledding at Marcielle's house.
Was that when you guys went to their house in our Pontiac station wagon?
It's all the years. It's the many year. Every year we ever went to Marcielle's house at Christmas time.
But the year that we went, when Maureen and I bought an old Pontiac station wagon, and we took Mom and Dad, and it probably took you and Artie, and we went to Marcielle's house, and there was a ton of snow.
Yeah.
And we went sledding.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got to share one of the, since Larita just jogged my memory on this one, and Rachel, I don't know if you'll remember this or not, but you were there. There was a time we had inner tubes, and we were going to go up on the hill above your house in Pleasant View. Somewhere you guys had a hill, specific spot you wanted to go sledding, and there was so much snow. Literally, it was a gray overcast day, and so everything was a solid white. I mean, you couldn't see, say, the little sagebrush kind of brush back there. Everything was covered, and it was really easy to lose depth perception. It wasn't snowing, but it was like a whiteout scenario. Everything was solid white, and the snow was like waist deep. And as we're trudging through the snow, everybody's holding on to an inner tube, and we kind of got spread out as we're trudging along through the snow. And John was in the very front, in front of us. And I remember looking, and it's actually hard to see John's footprints in the snow because even where he stepped was the same white as where he hadn't stepped because there was no shadows. It was a gray overcast day. And as I'm looking at John's footsteps, and John's probably 15 feet in front of me, and I can't remember if it was Larita or I think you were right behind me, Rachel, about another 15 feet behind me or something like that. And I'm looking at John's footsteps in front of me, trudging through the snow, and suddenly I'm looking at John's footsteps, and then there's no more footsteps. I'm looking around, I thought, well, where did he go? Because I don't see another footstep to follow. And
I think we were going up to the quarry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And he went over the edge or something.
He did. He went over and he went down into a ravine, and I couldn't see the ravine, and I took one step and I fell into a ravine that was right in front of me, and I couldn't see it. And then John was down in the ravine, and he was kind of there's like an overhang, and he was kind of underneath it and hiding. And he grabbed me, and we both hid under the underhang, and we watched you walk up, and you did the same thing. You stopped and you looked and you looked and you took a step and boof,
Yeah.
you fell down into this, and everybody did the same thing one by one. Everybody came along and fell into the same spot. Larita fell in, Mark fell in. None of us could see it until we were in it. Anyway,
A bunch of lemmings.
It's called
Yes.
the lemming. Yeah, the lemming
And we
phenomenon.
probably had, it seems like we had a really hard time getting out of there too.
probably. I don't remember. I just remember how crazy it was that none of us saw it until we stepped into it.
This is now sounding vaguely familiar to me too. I remember though, Jaye jogged my memory because I remember being so cold when we would letting it, because we were never prepared. There was, we'd show up there at your mom's house, and well, half the time Dad would say the day before we drove out of the park driveway, oh, we're going to Marcielle's, and Mom would be like, what, we're going? And we'd take off and head to Utah. So
Back in the day of moon boots.
Oh yeah.
And
and
gloves that didn't really work. And we'd come home frozen. And Mom and Grandma would put our hands underneath the faucet with warm water, and it would be excruciating.
Hurt.
I can remember wearing socks on my hands in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my mom. I got her on the computer that I finally fixed for her so that she doesn't have to do this on her phone anymore. I'll be back.
Okay.
Well,
Larita or Artie, do you remember a really cold, snowy Christmas in Virginia?
It's on that video.
Was that at Christmas time when the pool froze?
Yeah. Well,
It's on that video, Chad.
Right.
yeah, no, that's what reminded me of it.
I've never forgotten skating on that pool. I thought that's one of my fondest memories of Virginia is that pool.
Oh yeah.
On it.
So we had a lot of ponds not very far from the house. In fact, one was just down in the pasture right over the fence, and I would skate down there before school. We had about a 3-week period when it was below zero-ish, and the ice was really good, and I did a lot of skating, and we would play ice hockey at a pond in somebody's pasture down the road a ways. And I took Artie and where are you, Artie? I took Artie and Alden with me, and they did the J trick of I'm cold, my hands are cold, my feet are cold, and it was like, go home. But Mom had told me, don't send them home by themselves. You have to bring them home. But I didn't want to go home because I was having a lot of fun. And so for the next 8 hours, they sat over on the bank and cried while I enjoyed hockey.
I think it was 12 hours.
Such a loving brother.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm bowing out.
What?
Why?
I'm leaving the party because I have a
Right.
whole party in there.
Okay.
Well, don't
Thanks for
get
joining
out your
us.
priorities, woman.
Go ahead and bow. I want to watch.
But I do remember that, Chad. I do remember you being upset with me.
Bye,
I do remember
Marcielle.
I was authentically,
Love you.
genuinely
Only
cold.
I
Bye,
don't know how
Marcielle.
to do it. How do I stop this?
Just go get Rachel to come do it for you. Tell her to go and help you out.
Sorry about that, Arden.
Yeah.
I'll just mute you for now.
Does anybody have any memories of Christmas on Old Columbia Pike?
Yes.
On Old Columbia Pike, we went and cut our own tree down, I think.
Yes, we did.
and brought it back, and it was snowy. It was cold and snowy. And so I remember that.
Do you remember a Christmas morning or Christmas Eve or anything like that?
Bruce was home. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nancy.
The Christmas that I remember, Dad was able to win a color TV and some books of knowledge and Compton and encyclopedias and all kinds of wonderful things. And yes, it was snowy, and we did have a lot of kids come up and go sledding down the hill in our backyard, and a lot of fun. But so when it was time for us to all go to bed, Mom and Dad told me I had to stay up and help them wrap Christmas presents.
You and I both, Nancy.
Well, I don't remember you, but I was there.
That's because I'm not very memorable.
I resented it. I did not want to have to see what everybody was getting. But when we got up in the morning, the color TV was gone, and the books of knowledge were gone, and the Compton encyclopedias were gone.
Dad sold
them all. And we, you know, the novelty of having a color TV, but then we ended up with a black and white TV that really didn't work very well, but you could listen. But
Daddy sold these things overnight?
Well,
it wasn't overnight.
So that's funny because I remember us watching that color TV on quite a few Sunday nights and the books of knowledge. And I know they eventually got sold, but sold on Christmas night.
No, we watched Wide World of Disney on that color TV.
Yeah.
And for several weeks, I would come home from school and sit down and watch Clint Walker in whatever TV show he did at that particular time. And I just was amazed to see a color TV, and I couldn't believe that we had one. And then suddenly it was gone, and Dad had sold it because he was really poor then. He was trying to get Fantastic going, and he wasn't making any money. And I know that was a really desperate Christmas. That was a really hard one.
It seems like Bruce was home for one of those Christmases, and about 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30, he was upstairs and he started yelling at us all to hurry and get up. It was Christmas morning, and he was so excited for Christmas morning. It was just kind of fun for him to get us all going. And now looking back, I feel bad for Mom and Dad because they were probably up late, but Bruce was excited about Christmas. And Mother would make cinnamon rolls out of her bread dough, and we would have cinnamon rolls, and we played games in the kitchen and ate candy all day long.
I'm sure that made us sick as a dog.
I think it did. But we played games in there and had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of kids from the ward that would come to our house and go sledding down. We had a lot of snow that year.
We did, yeah.
Go sledding down there.
I remember having those parties out there on the hill and just having so much fun.
Where did you live then?
Old Columbia Pike in Maryland.
13100 Old Columbia Pike.
Oh, I've been there. I remember now.
You were born there.
And Larita
I've
was
been there
in her little bassinet in Mom and Dad's bedroom. She had just been born.
Did they ever push her down the hill in the bassinet on sledding?
No.
Yeah, we
She wasn't
did.
born on Christmas. It was 3 days
No, she wasn't
after.
born on Christmas, but she was still a
3
baby at that point.
Well, I was 3 days old.
The next Christmas.
Or maybe the next Christmas, but one Christmas I was only 3 days old.
No, you were born 3 days after Christmas.
I know. Oh, that's right.
Well, it's hard to remember your own birth. Only
Oh my gosh,
Marcielle
that's
does that.
hilarious. I wasn't even here. 3 days
I
yet.
remember a Christmas on Old Columbia Pike because I got roller skates, and I don't know if it's the same one or another one, but I got a bicycle. And I do remember creeping down the stairs on Old Columbia Pike and looking around and watching Mom and Dad.
You have a voyeur
rapping.
here.
So, but I know that
I say,
pictures of me on that that we have, because there's pictures of all of us in front of the Christmas tree and stuff there individually.
Is that the Christmas? I think I know about those. There's this one, the
Yeah.
only Christmas pictures I know of that when I was a little girl anyway.
Yeah,
That had to be, yeah, but you were so young at Old Columbia Pike.
Yeah, you were just a
Then it
baby.
couldn't have been, well, I don't know, but I know there's pictures of me in a little, I'm not very big.
Spencerville.
Huh?
It would have been Spencerville.
Or Virginia.
That's where we
Should-
went right after we left Old Columbia Pike, was the house out in Spencerville.
Should I pull up some of the, I have some Christmas photos from like 1964 or something like that.
Well, pull one up.
Well, hang on, right for you. I remember Old Columbia Pike coming down the stairs. Where are you, Annette? Where did you go?
Which
Oh, she
stairs?
walked away. She's
I'm
right
right
oh, here she
here.
is.
Oh,
We had
I remember
two
coming down the
stairways to
stairs.
that house.
You remember the old barn on Old Columbia Pike out by the orchard?
Of course, there
Yeah.
were two old barns.
Yep.
Yeah, and we got there to burn trash.
Yep.
Anybody remember burning trash out there?
I did. Yeah.
Do you remember the old junk cars? And
Oh,
and
they weren't junk cars. They were Dad's cars that weren't running, and he couldn't afford to get them fixed. He had a Bel Air Chevrolet first,
Gosh.
and I was 15 years old. He told me to start it and drive it every day, which I did.
You were
And
how
then-
old?
And I would have been 15. And then he had that 1957 Chrysler that he parked out there for quite a while because it had over 300,000 miles on it, and it wasn't running, but it was actually one of our cars.
well, I was looking for Christmas presents, and they had hid them. And at some point, I decided they might be in the trunk of one of those cars. And so I managed to get the trunk open, and sure enough, there were a bunch of presents in there. And it's who was it? Nancy mentioned not wanting to know. Oh, you were wrapping and didn't want to know what the presents were. And I wanted to find them, but I really didn't want to know because it just seemed like that would take all the fun out of Christmas morning, kind of a thing. So I slammed the trunk, closed very quickly. And I don't think all I recognized was a bunch of presents, but I didn't recognize anybody's present. And then that Christmas Eve, I was upstairs with Annette, I think my memory is we were up there together, and we could hear all the noise of rapping and conversation, and I really wanted to go down and look, but I didn't want to go down and look. But in the middle of the night, I woke up like 4 a.m. and I did go down, and I saw maybe it was your bike, Annette. In my mind, I thought I got a bike that year too, but I don't actually
Probably
remember.
you did.
But there were definitely some bikes down there, and yeah, I think it was 2 bikes, and it was me in the living room and the Christmas tree with all the presents in the middle of the night, and I don't remember what I did after that.
I did get and when we lived in Virginia, I got a 3-speed bike one Christmas. I remember that was a big deal. 3-speed.
Yeah, 3-speed would have been.
Do you remember the racing tracks we got?
Bike than me, Artie. You always had a better bike than me. And when we'd ride into Los Altos Hills or ride down to Los Altos from Los Altos Hills, you could always make it up the hill. And I never could. And it took me years to realize you made it up that hill because you had a 10-speed bike and I was on a no-speed bike. And I did years to figure out that I couldn't keep up with you because of the bike I was on.
It wasn't because he was stronger, huh?
No, I could, if I'd had a better bike.
Any bike for you is a no-speed bike, Larita.
Excuse me. That is not true.
That's why you're in better shape than him today. Yeah. And then.
Well, this is the best bike story in the family. So on Sourwood Drive, Bruce and I would go to the barber. And I don't know how Mom and Dad afforded to have the barber cut our hair. But one of the times when we went to the barber, they were having a raffle. And they had all these marbles in a jar. And you had to guess the number of marbles in the jar and write down the number and write down your name and put it in a box. So Bruce and I both guessed the number of marbles in the jar and put our name in the box. Now, I don't remember how long we had to wait until we got the results, but I guessed the number of marbles in the jar right on the button. And so I had never had a bike in my life until that time. And I guess I was about 12 or 13 years old, actually, because Sourwood Drive, yeah, I was 8. No, I was 9, 8 or 9. Anyway, I won. And I won a bike. And I couldn't believe how I was the luckiest guy in the world to have won a bike. And I knew Mom and Dad would never buy me one because they couldn't afford to buy me a bike. But I thought that was the greatest thing ever. But I actually guessed the number on the button. So I've
noticed this savant-like genius in you, Jay, all my life.
Well, that's marvelous.
That's one of your better ones recently.
Oh my word.
Or recent time.
I gotta do a
Marvelous.
screen share here.
How did you do that, Jay? How did you think of marvelous?
I agree.
That's just strange.
Well,
There's
that's
Alden
because
and Artie right there in that one picture. And that's, I don't know if I was born there yet or not. Artie doesn't look very old.
So
yeah, Artie is only about what, 3? And not even that. Maybe
Well, I'm
2 and
only a year and something behind Artie. So I would have been around somewhere.
You know, I'll bet you that's on.
Hey, is that me and Mom's arms in the green, where Mom's wearing the green dress, maybe?
wait, which one are you guys looking at?
Yeah, down there on the bottom row to the right.
Okay, bottom right.
Not that one.
That's
Over.
Old Columbia
Over.
Pike.
Oh, this
Mom's
one.
having a baby. I don't know who the baby
That's
is.
Old Columbia Pike, I'll bet you.
Answer, but now.
I'm wondering if it might be me.
Yeah, it
I
could
don't
be.
think I've ever remember seeing that one.
This says, oh, I just wrote question mark baby Alden, but I don't know.
Where's this at? Where's this at, you guys? Where's this?
No, that's what Dad had, a mustache. He's younger there. That's definitely not Old Columbia Pike. Let's see if that's Alden.
I don't ever remember.
I don't know if it's Alden or not. I mean, question mark there. I don't know.
Could that be
If
Sourwood
it's
Drive?
Alden, it would be Sourwood. That one outfit that I had on, that plaid outfit, that was Sourwood.
For some reason, I did write the date 1960. I don't remember how I figured this stuff out. Let's see, who just entered?
Okay, so this one with me with the plaid dress is Sourwood, and that would have been the year that I turned 12.
This is Sourwood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Old Columbia Pike?
No, it's not Old Columbia Pike. I got
Okay.
that when I was 12.
Did we ever live on a street called Sweetwood or just Sourwood?
Sourwood.
You see that clump of tinsel just to the
Yes,
right
I
of your
do,
right
actually.
hand?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, is that yours, Chad?
That's the one I threw on there, no doubt.
That's Chad's right
That's
there.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Poor Mom.
What did you do, Chad?
See the
That piece of tinsel down there, right? to
Oh,
the
I
end.
see that.
It's a clump. Yeah, it's a clump.
Poor Mom.
So this is me in Alden for sure.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I don't know. He must have given me a bloody nose. He's started beating me up. Maybe Chad did that. I don't know.
I'll bet you that's
That would be Old Columbia Pike, I think.
those floors, those
are there?
floors and that baseboard looks like Old Columbia Pike.
Yeah, to me too.
Yeah.
I've never seen this picture before.
I haven't either.
I have either.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alden still looks like that. Artie's changed a little bit.
Gosh, you had a lot of hair, Artie. My goodness.
You know, it's interesting. I was listening to a discussion the other day, and the guy said, you know, and he's this guy who was, I think he was 71 years old, and he said, I've gone through a lot of bodies in my life. I used to have a toddler body. I used to have a 10-year-old body. I used to have a 15-year-old body. And he said, I just can't find any of those old bodies anymore. I just would like to go back to some of them, but.
Just made it. It's delicious.
Artie, we called you our little gorilla.
Got enough for the both of
He
you?
was so hairy.
Perfect.
So this, I just gotta say, this is a Las, I'm pretty sure this is Las Vegas.
Looks like it to me.
And
And that
there's a-
blanket looks like Los. Isn't that where we got
Yeah,
that?
that's one of those Navajo blankets.
Yeah,
you
Los
got that
Angeles.
in Zion's, right?
You know, I have that blanket, you guys.
How's your feet doing?
I still have that blanket.
You have that blanket?
Well, it's obviously mine.
Well, I'll give it back to you. It has holes in it now, but I've kept it. I don't know how I ended up with it, but I've kept it. How in the world? I mean, who knows why in the world I
Yeah.
have that blanket, but it's in storage.
So I remember getting Battleship for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
That's Battleship and getting the game of Risk. And I remember getting bicycle in Virginia, a skateboard in Los Altos. So there's Larita doing whatever she's doing with her Christmas gifts, putting them away.
Still
She
have
got
that bed.
Even for about 2 days, about 2 weeks
got a
out.
little doll.
And then I
Yeah, I
can't.
needed my dolls. I didn't.
Who's talking in the background?
I think it's a net screw.
What's this happened?
I think it's on a net.
Annette,
Appreciate that. You sure you don't need it? Yeah.
Annette,
Hey, family.
I just muted her.
Hey, family.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to lose you because my phone is out of battery.
Oh,
And
there
darn
she
it, I
goes.
don't want to lose you before I can say,
Can
Artie,
you plug
thank
it
you.
in?
Artie, no, you're not supposed to do that with the
Oh.
iPhone. Anyway,
All the time.
Artie, thank you so much for doing this. This has been such fun. Do you
okay,
hear
you're
me, Artie?
welcome. Yeah.
I've really loved hearing all these things that I was never ever a part of. And thinking of our parents that shepherded us through all of those many, many years, and how Christmas must have been always a huge challenge for them, happiness for them. And with you rowdy boys, I don't know how they survived.
That wasn't me. Happy New Year, Kamillia.
Yeah, love
Thank
you,
you.
Kamillia.
I love you all.
Hey, and Happy New Year to all of you. Also, Cynthia and I must get in our car and be on our way. And
careful. Where are
thank
you
you for
going?
moving it to 4 o'clock so we could join in. I could
Where are
join
you
in.
going, Chad?
Mahalo.
It's dangerous
Huh?
out there. Where are you going?
Up to Cinda and Albans. Yeah, we'll drive slow, and you got the 4-wheel drive on the truck, so.
Yeah, you'll be
Take it
fine.
easy.
Well, I'm gonna go
Okay.
too. I've got a
All
really
right.
bad headache and I have to go do something about it.
All right.
Okay, well, love everybody.
I have a lot of memories I didn't get to share, so I'm glad you're leaving so I can talk about them without you.
Well, go ahead.
Things haven't
Go ahead
changed
and tell
much.
us, Nancy. And then it'll be on the recording, and then go back and listen to it later.
No, we'll just have to do it again. This was fun. Thanks, Arden, for doing it.
Okay.
Bye, you guys.
right.
Love you all.
Okay. All right. Well, love everybody. I will
Okay,
share a
bye.
link to the video of this.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.